Right now, as you're watching this, your body is waiting for its next meal. But what if you didn't give it one? What if for the next 23 hours, you gave your system something it hasn't experienced in years? Complete digestive silence. The transformation that follows isn't starvation, it's evolution in action. Your ancestors didn't eat 3 meals a day. They didn't snack every few hours. They ate when they could, often just once, and their bodies thrived because of it, not despite it. Modern science is finally catching up to what evolution already knew. When you eat just 1 meal a day, you're not breaking your body. You're unlocking a biological program that's been waiting dormant, ready to transform how you burn fat, build focus, and even repair your cells. Think about this. When did you last experience true hunger, not the 11 a.m. coffee craving or the 3 p.m. snack habit, but actual biological hunger? Most of us eat because the clock says so, not because our bodies demand it. We've confused routine with need habit with hunger. And in doing so, we've silenced one of our body's most powerful adaptation systems. This is educational content, not medical advice. Always consult your healthcare professional before starting any fasting protocol, especially if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, have a history of eating disorders, type 1 diabetes, or take medications requiring food. But if you're curious about what your body is truly capable of, if you want to understand the science behind eating once a day, then let me show you exactly what happens hour by hour as your system switches from constant feeding to singular focus. The journey starts with panic, but it doesn't end there. Not even close. The first 4 hours without food feel like betrayal. Your stomach starts its familiar rumble around hour 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky. This isn't hunger yet. It's ghrelin, your hunger hormone, doing what it's been trained to do. Sound the alarm at mealtime. Think of ghrelin like a smoke detector that's been programmed to go off, whether there's actual fire or just someone making toast. Your body has learned your eating schedule so well that it starts preparing digestive enzymes before you even think about food. Here's where things get interesting. That ghrelin spike. It peaks around hour 3 and then surprisingly starts to fade. Your body realizes breakfast isn't coming and begins to adapt. The liver, that incredible chemical factory, starts releasing stored glucose from its glycogen reserves. Think of glycogen as your body's spare battery, about 100 grams of quick energy stored specifically for moments like this. But while your liver is managing energy, something else is happening. Your insulin levels, which normally spike and crash with each meal, begin their descent. After 4 hours without food, insulin drops by about 30%. This might not sound dramatic, but it's like taking your foot off the brake pedal of fat storage. When insulin is high, it's virtually impossible to burn fat. When it drops, the gates to your fat cells start to open. If you feel slightly dizzy during these first hours, that's normal. Your body is recalibrating. A pinch of salt and water can help stabilize things. But don't mistake this temporary discomfort for danger. It's adaptation in progress. Between hours 4 and 8, your body stops asking for food and starts solving the problem itself. This is metabolic switching, and it's one of the most elegant adaptations in human biology. Your insulin continues dropping now, down about 50% from baseline. Meanwhile, its opposite hormone, glucagon, starts to rise. If insulin is the storage hormone, glucagon is the release hormone. It signals your fat cells to start breaking down triglycerides into free fatty acids. Think of your metabolism like a hybrid car with two fuel tanks. The first tank, glucose, is small but quick burning, perfect for immediate energy. The second tank, fat, is massive but requires a different engine to run. Most people never switch to the second tank because they keep topping off the first one every few hours. But when you don't eat, when that first tank runs low, your body has no choice but to flip the switch. This metabolic transition doesn't happen instantly. It's gradual, taking several hours as your cells literally change which enzymes they're producing. Mitochondria, those tiny power plants in every cell, start retooling themselves to burn fat instead of sugar. It's like watching a factory change its entire production line while still running. And here's something fascinating. As this switch happens, your brain doesn't slow down. It speeds up. Your body starts producing more norepinephrine, the same neurotransmitter that surges when you're excited or need to focus. This isn't a mistake, it's evolution. Our ancestors needed to be sharper when hungry, not slower. The ones who got foggy when food was scarce didn't survive to pass on their genes. The ones who got focused did. Now we enter what I call the growth window hours, 8 through 16. This is where one meal a day separates itself from typical intermittent fasting. Around hour 10, something remarkable happens. Growth hormone, which normally peaks during deep sleep, starts surging during your waking hours. We're talking about a 3 to 5 times increase from baseline. By the time you hit hour 16, some people see growth hormone levels spike as much as 500%. Let me put this in perspective. Growth hormone is what bodybuilders inject illegally to build muscle and burn fat. Your body is now producing it naturally in massive quantities, just because you haven't eaten. Think of growth hormone as your body's construction crew. Normally, they only work the night shift while you sleep. But when you fast, they clock in during the day too, preserving your muscle mass while directing your body to burn fat for fuel. This is also when autophagy kicks into high gear. If you haven't heard of autophagy, you should know it won a Nobel Prize in 2016. Japanese scientist Yoshinori Osumi discovered this cellular recycling process that only activates when nutrients are scarce. Imagine your cells have a cleaning crew that only comes out when the office is empty. When you're constantly eating, the office never closes. But give your digestive system a break, and suddenly your cells start breaking down old damaged proteins and rebuilding fresh ones. Autophagy isn't just cleaning, it's renovation. Your body literally digests its own damaged parts and uses them as building materials for new, healthier cells. This process has been linked to reduced cancer risk, slower aging, and protection against neurodegenerative diseases. And it's happening right now, around hour 12 of your fast, without you feeling a thing. But let's be real about safety. If you're experiencing severe dizziness that doesn't resolve with water and electrolytes, if your heart starts racing or skipping beats, if you feel confused or extremely weak, your body is telling you something important. Listen to it. Not everyone should push through to one meal a day. People with type 1 diabetes, those who are underweight, anyone with a history of eating disorders, this isn't your tool. There are other ways to optimize health. Ancient Roman soldiers ate one meal a day, usually in the evening after training. Modern researchers, studying their historical records, were puzzled. How did they maintain such strength and endurance on a single meal? Now we understand. They were perpetually in this growth hormone, elevated autophagy, activated state. Their bodies had adapted to extract maximum nutrition from minimal feeding. Hours 16 through 20 bring what many people describe as unprecedented mental clarity. Your liver is now producing significant amounts of ketones, an alternative fuel that your brain actually prefers in many ways. Ketones cross the blood-brain barrier more efficiently than glucose. They produce less oxidative stress. They even trigger the production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is essentially fertilizer for your brain cells. Think of the difference between burning sugar and burning ketones, like the difference between burning newspaper and burning oak logs. Newspaper burns fast and dirty, leaving ash everywhere. Oak burns slow and clean, producing steady heat with minimal residue. Your brain on ketones is running on that clean burning oak, which is why people report such mental clarity during this phase. A 2019 study compared people eating one meal a day to those eating three meals with the exact same calories. The OMAD group didn't just lose more weight, they lost more fat while preserving more muscle. Their insulin sensitivity improved more dramatically. Their inflammatory markers dropped lower. Same calories, completely different biological response. This is also when your body becomes incredibly insulin sensitive. After 20 hours without food, your cells are primed to absorb nutrients. They've cleared out old glucose, reset their insulin receptors, and are ready to make the most of whatever nutrition comes next. It's like your cells have been cleaned, serviced, and are waiting at attention for their next assignment. But here's a critical point about electrolytes that most people miss. During these fasting hours, your kidneys are dumping sodium. This is why some people feel weak or get headaches. You're not necessarily hungry. You might just need salt. A quarter teaspoon of salt in water can make the difference between struggling through your fast and sailing through it. Potassium and magnesium matter too, but sodium is usually the key player. I remember accidentally doing OMAD during a business trip where meetings ran through every mealtime. By hour 18, instead of being exhausted, I experienced something strange. Every problem I'd been wrestling with suddenly had clear solutions. My mind felt like someone had cleaned the windshield after driving through mud for years. That clarity wasn't placebo. It was ketones and BDNF doing their job. Finally, hours 20 through 24, your feeding window arrives. This is where one meal a day becomes an art form. Your digestive system, which has been resting, suddenly springs to life with remarkable efficiency. Digestive enzyme production surges. Stomach acid increases. Your intestinal cells, which have had time to repair and regenerate, are operating at peak absorption capacity. Your body has become a nutrient-absorbing machine. Studies show that nutrient absorption actually improves when you give your digestive system regular breaks. It's like the difference between a constantly running conveyor belt that never gets maintenance versus one that gets daily service. The serviced system runs better, lasts longer, and processes materials more efficiently. This is your window to provide your body with everything it needs. And here's what surprises people. You can fit tremendous nutrition into one meal when you're truly hungry and your body is primed to receive it. Your taste buds are heightened. Your satisfaction signals are clear. You eat until you're genuinely full, not just until the plate is empty. But there's a gender difference we need to address. Women's hormones are more sensitive to caloric restriction than men's. Some women thrive on OMAD, experiencing stable energy and improved body composition. Others find their cycles disrupted, their thyroid function compromised, or their stress hormones elevated. If you're a woman trying OMAD, pay extra attention to your body's signals. Your hormonal health is more important than any eating schedule. Athletes present another interesting case. Some find their performance skyrockets when training in a fasted state, then eating their single meal post-workout. Others see performance decline without pre-workout fuel. The key is timing. Many successful OMAD athletes time their meal after their training session, using that insulin-sensitive window to shuttle nutrients directly into recovering muscles. What about breakfast versus dinner for your one meal? Science shows it might matter less than we thought. A study from the University of Alabama found that early time-restricted feeding eating your meal earlier in the day improved insulin sensitivity slightly more than evening feeding. But the difference was marginal compared to the benefits of OMAD itself. Choose the timing that fits your life. Consistency matters more than specific timing. The real power of eating once a day isn't just in the physical transformation, it's in the relationship reset with food itself. When you only eat once, that meal becomes an event, not a mindless habit. You taste flavors you've been missing. You feel genuine satisfaction instead of just fullness. You learn the difference between emotional hunger and physical need. Some say OMAD is extreme. They argue humans need regular feeding, that skipping meals is dangerous, that our ancestors ate whenever they could. Others point to the evidence: the improved biomarkers, the mental clarity, the disease prevention, the longevity benefits. They say 3 meals a day is the actual modern extreme, that constant feeding is what's unnatural. Where do you stand in this debate? Here's what 23 hours of fasting teaches you. Your body is far more adaptable than you've been led to believe. Those hunger pangs you thought were emergencies, they pass. That energy crash you feared, it doesn't come when you're fat adapted. The muscle loss you worried about, growth hormone has it covered. Your body isn't fragile. It's remarkably, incredibly, almost miraculously resilient. But OMAD is a tool, not a religion. It's one way to eat, not the only way. For some people, it's liberation from constant food thoughts and meal prep. For others, it's unnecessary stress that disrupts their life and health. The beauty is you get to choose. You get to experiment. You get to find what works for your unique biology and lifestyle. If you're thinking about trying 1 meal a day, start slowly. Don't jump from 3 meals to one overnight. Try 16 and 8 first, then 24, then OMAD. Let your body adapt gradually. Pay attention to how you feel, not just how much weight you lose. Track your energy, your mental clarity, your sleep quality, your mood. These matter as much as any number on a scale. Remember, if severe dizziness persists, if your heart races, if confusion sets in, stop and eat. Your body's wisdom trumps any protocol. This isn't about proving toughness. It's about finding what makes you thrive. The most profound realization from eating once a day isn't that you can do it. It's that your body has been capable of this all along. Those biological programs for fat burning, cellular repair, and mental clarity weren't broken. They were just dormant, waiting for the right signal to activate. 23 hours without food isn't deprivation. It's activation of systems that modern life has forgotten. Your OMAD deal breaker in one word: go. Drop it in the comments now. Is it breakfast, energy, social hunger? And here's the real question: what sounds harder to give up, breakfast or dinner? Type breakfast or dinner below. And let's see which meal really rules our habits. If this deep dive into your body's hidden capabilities blew your mind, if you finally understand what's actually happening during those fasting hours, then tag someone who thinks they'd literally die without breakfast. They need to see this. And if you want to understand more biological mysteries, if you're ready to question everything you thought you knew about how your body works, hit subscribe right now. Next up, we're settling the ultimate debate: OMAD versus 16-8 intermittent fasting. Same fasting, different windows, but the biological differences will shock you. Your body responds completely differently to these two protocols, and what works best might not be what you expect. Until then, remember this: you're not just a passive passenger in your body, you're the driver. And now, You know what happens when you take a different route, when you give your system space to do what it was designed to do. Not constantly digest, but periodically restore. Not always feed, but sometimes fast. Not 3 meals a day, but maybe just maybe one.